Hey, this the Horse of Horses, Divine Test right here. You're now tuned in to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, this is the commander of the Quirky Club, Izzy Shaw, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
This is the Hitman For Hire, Mr. Grimm, and I'm on Wrestling with Entertainment. And if you don't listen to Wrestling Entertainment, you're getting bodied.
Hello, and welcome to So It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, reviewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, everything in between, every Saturday, and interview all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., with Calico Yachts and Scooter Dust, who is not here tonight, but it is still a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with, from where X marks the spot, weighing 27 body bags, the Hitman For Hire, Mr. Grimm.
Yeah, I love the introduction. I appreciate it.
We do it big here on Wrestling with Entertainment. How are you, man?
I'm ready to body bag somebody.
Alright. So you're ready to get back in there?
Get back in where?
Into the ring.
Who says that I'm body bagging people in the ring?
Ah, okay. You do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But, what could we, when's the next time you're being body bagging somebody inside the ring? What do you have coming up next?
Hopefully tomorrow. I'm in Blackwood, New Jersey for Combat Zone Wrestling, and I'll be in a fatal four-way match. You know, that should be interesting. It's a lot of big meat in there. Look, no, I said that the wrong way, but it's whatever. There's going to be a lot of people in there that are like huge, so whatever.
And where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
The best way to find me on social media, just Google, like, the Hitman for Mr. Grimm, or Mr. Grimm Wrestler, and, like, all my stuff will pop up.
You have a link tree, correct?
Yeah, I also have a link tree that has all my links on it, which is on my Twitter. It's basically linktree.com, I think, and then Mr. Grimm with one M.
And you don't even have to look for it. You don't have to type into that Google machine. The links will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox.
I appreciate it.
Now, you work for Enjoy Wrestling and Wrestler Laboratory. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
Say that one more time, I couldn't.
You work for Enjoy Wrestling and Wrestler's Laboratory. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
Well, Wrestlers Lab. Matter of fact, I've actually worked for both of them on their inaugural shows. Wrestlers Lab, back when I was still wearing a white button-up. Was it a white button-up? Yeah, I was still wearing my white button-up back then. But I've been with them since their very first show when they were on pre-shows. And it just, you know, it was supposed to be like a one-time thing, because their whole, like, initial goal was each show that they're doing a pre-show, they're bringing in new people that nobody really, you know, knows about, that they should know about. And funny story, I wasn't even initially booked for the first show. Like, it was a named Eddie Blackwater, and Chris, he was recruiting, you know, looking up Eddie Blackwater, and he found, like, was looking up his videos on YouTube, and then he ran across the one that we had at Dojo Wars, and then he ended up booking me instead of Eddie. So, you know, one thing led to another, and I became their first ever Nucleus champion, and then went on to be their first ever Wrestlers Left champion.
And you held that championship for 911 days, correct?
Yes, it was a long time, and, you know, unfortunately, it was, you know, taken away after a loss to MB Young, but, you know, it was served on his part, because it wasn't an easy victory at all.
Well, I mean...
And,
oh, yeah, continue.
And as far as enjoy, you know, funny story. Like last year on my birthday, they contacted me and gave me the date for it was, I think it was a January date, I want to say, whatever date it was. I forgot when the initial date was, but they literally hit me up on my birthday, asking me if I was interested in working for them, and they were doing a tournament. And to be honest, like, I didn't expect to play the role that I did coming in, you know, because, like, who the hell am I? But obviously, you know, they saw something in me that I didn't, and, you know, now, if you look on their flyer, there's only 2 people on the main flyer, and it's me and Envy. So, you know, that really goes to show how much, you know, they appreciate me, and you know, how much they think of just my character and my work in general, because I believe this is the first time that they've ever had just 2 people on the flyer. You know, it's an honor to be a part of, you know, that company. You know, they've been really good to me, and I've always enjoyed working for Enjoy. See what I did there?
Yes. I was going to say, you enjoy wrestling.
I do.
And that must have been a cool little bonus birthday present, you know, getting that opportunity on your birthday.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I didn't expect to get any bookings on my birthday. It was just happy birthdays I was getting that day.
That's awesome. And, you know, going back to Wrestlers Lab, winning the Wrestling Lab title and holding it for as long as you did, what did that mean to you? To have, you know, such a lengthy run and to be trusted to have such a historic reign with that title? Because I believe you are the longest reigning champion they have at this time.
Yeah, I mean, it meant a lot because I had my issues with them, like, personally, and it came from, you know, after the first show, you know, they told me it was only going to be, you know, a one and done for the most part, and I was like, all right, cool. But they started bringing multiple people back. You know, Mike Law, he ended up wrestling for them more than once, and I think it was another person. So I was like, yo, what's going on? You know, you said it was only a one and done, and I'm seeing other people. And to be honest, you know, they booked enough, like, I forgot what show it was, but they ended up booking me. Was it? Okay, I think it was a poll that they had to do after a Battle Club show, because they did a joint show with Battle Club, and I think I wrestled what was it, Unknown or something like that, or Vacant. I wrestled Vacant, and then a little bit after that, they had a poll to see who would be in that match, you know, for the Nucleus Championship, and yeah, it was close. It was a lot of people that were voted to be, like, you know, nominated to be in there, but it was only 4 people who would get chosen. And, you know, out of all the hostility that I had towards them, I mean, even it was a personal thing, but it was still, we were good professionally. You know, I was just like, you know, it just burned the fire under me, because I'm like, you know, I'm getting overlooked once again. And, you know, come this poll, I was like, I was really trying to win, so I promoted it, and I ended up, you know, having the person with the most votes. So I got entered in that, and it was me, Tyler Matrix. I want to say, was it Trevor? Trevor Aeon and Danger Kid.
Hmm.
And I ended up winning that match. So, it just hearing the story, knowing the backstory behind everything, it's a really unique story and how everything just turned out. Like, even from before I was even booked, because like I said, I wasn't the first choice for their first show. They were looking up Eddie Blackwater and then happened to come across my match with him. Like, what are the odds that, the guy that you weren't even looking at ends up being the guy that you end up booking, and then, down the road making Sam, it's crazy.
Now, a follow-up question. You said that you did it professionally, everything was fine and cool, but you took it kind of personally. Why did you take it so personally that, you kind of felt like you were overlooked by them?
I took it personally because, being a part of that Wrestlers Lab, the very first show, like being a part of, where everything started, just seeing how excited they were. It was something that I didn't just want to be there one time. I wanted to be there continually,
Okay.
but I understood, what their goal was. So it wasn't that, I was really, really upset with them. It was just like it was burning a fire in me. I'm like, you know what? What do I have to do to get them to book me more?
Okay, I gotcha. Now, just to reiterate, you were champion for 911 days. So the Hitman for Hire was champion for 911. Rip?
Yep, and I even took that belt over to Mexico with me. And hey, look, the messed up part about it is the title that I won is not the same title that MB's holding.
Uh-huh.
He ended up losing it. Yeah.
Hmm.
He lost the one that I took, to Mexico. Like, just let that sink in. I took it to Mexico and then brought it back. But he takes it to Pittsburgh and loses it.
That's, yeah.
I can't say I did lose my favorite hoodie, though. Like, somebody took that, but I did not lose the belt. And my knee pads. Somebody stole my knee pads. Like,
who's stealing knee pads in Mexico?
I have no clue, but it was a really nice pair of knee pads. And it's funny, if I find that match, like, you'll see, like, I have no knee pads on that match. I was, like, so pissed, because I'm over there running around, like, my match is up, and I'm looking for my knee pads, and there's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, we were only in the locker room. So, I don't know what happened with that, but I lost my favorite hoodie down there, which is very hard to find. Like, I can't even find the hood, like, a similar hoodie anymore.
What kind was it?
Well, it was, okay, so it was a gray hoodie, but it had like a Spartan look to it, like a gladiator kind of thing. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cool thing to lose, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was pissed. Like, so pissed. But I am glad that I brought the title back.
Alright. You beat Lee Moriarty for the Enjoy Cup title. Could you tell us about that match and what that meant to you?
Well, I've always wanted to work Lee. I've always respected his work. I respected, his drive, his desire just to be, to keep getting better. And to have that match against him, it really meant a lot, but it, like, under the circumstances, it was just like, because he was injured, I, like, beat him with a Christmas tree. But yeah, I mean, it was a really cool moment. And the finish was like, what was it? I did a power bomb and then kind of flipped them into like a bear hug.
Yeah.
And yeah, just being a part of, being able to take back what was mine, that really meant a lot. Because, the Enjoy Cup, I end up losing to Envy, via Unbreakable Door. I don't know if you saw that match or not.
That
But
broke.
yeah, we tried to break that door. It didn't break. And eventually he just kneed me in the back of my head and my face hit the door. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was out. But
yeah.
just being able to take back what was mine. I wasn't supposed to lose the Envy. It was supposed to be me versus Lee, and I would have won. And that just goes to show who would have won.
Oh, absolutely. And the championship's vacant now? Is that correct?
All right, it's not vacant, but Envy, what he ended up doing. Oh wait, was it? No, that was a contract. Well, it's not really vacant. Like we're just holding on to it.
Oh, all right.
I got something mixed up. I was getting the Battle Royal mixed up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Right.
it's in a body bag somewhere.
Yeah, it's in a pile and you have to find it.
No, not at all. I know exactly which body bag it's in.
Now that's just good organizing.
Yeah, usually I don't have to organize my body bags because I usually just, dispose of them somewhere. But,
yes,
shit happens.
That's another podcast for another time. You was on PWI's top 500 list. You was 457. You were on the top 500 black wrestlers. You were number 74. And you were on the top, I believe it's 150 LGBTQ wrestlers. You were number 31.
I think it was 200 for the LGBT.
Oh, it's 200.
Q, it was, top 200.
200. You were number 31. So, all in 2021. So, what does that mean to you to be on all of those lists for breaking the top 100 on 2 of them? Does that kind of tell you you're going in the right direction?
It does, but it also shows me that other people, see things that, other promoters don't. It's no coincidence that, I'm in the 400s of all the wrestlers in the world, just from the PWI, and with the black wrestlers, being in the top 100 and then being number 33 for the top LGBTQ community wrestlers. Like, it's no coincidence, that I'm in that bracket. People need to open their eyes and see what everybody else is saying. So, like, my goal for 2022 is, do I think I'm going to be in the top 100 for PWI? No, but I'm trying to get down to like the 100, like maybe, I would say mid to high 100s to at least the 200s. If I can go from 400 to 200, that's a big jump for PWI. Now, for the LGBTQ, like, I'm hoping to hit top 5 next year for that. And the black, the BWI, I'm trying for that one. So,
could you repeat that?
My work is cut out for me. You said what?
Could you repeat the last one? I didn't. You cut out a little bit. You said you wanted to be on the what number for the top black wrestlers?
I want to be in the top.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, no worries. You said what number you wanted to aim for the top black wrestlers?
Top 10.
Top 10. All right, so you have a lot of great goals for 2022.
Yeah, I do. Like it's right there for the taking. All I got to do is just do my thing.
And what are some of the other goals you have coming up this year? Do you to get to those levels on those lists?
Well, I definitely want to get back to AEW. It was an amazing experience being able to work with Tyson and having the match with Wardlow. But I want to, I feel when I went, it was a very, it was an awkward time because it was like right after, COVID had shut down everything. I didn't have my last match that I had was in March for CZW.
So that was
And
like
I
a
believe
2-3 month gap.
it was a 3-month gap. Yes.
And then 3 months later, Warlow. Welcome back to wrestling.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel that I have a lot to offer, and I just want to show them what I can do because I believe that if they see what I can do, that they'll bring me back.
All right.
But also, like, I want to bring awareness to like the LGBT like young community because like a lot of people, they have a hard time with accepting like who they are. Like me, it took me like so long before I was able to actually come out and tell people like who I was. Like I've been like this since 7, and I want to try to create like a program or even just if I can do seminars and just speak to people who need help, or have trouble with accepting who they are. Like so they can feel comfortable with, being comfortable in their own skin. Like I want to be able to help people to, just be themselves and not be scared anymore.
That's fantastic. And you came out as pansexual, correct?
Yeah.
At the beginning of 2021.
Yeah, it was actually January 1st, which my anniversary is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. So, um, how I don't know how to say this, but why was now the right time, or what gave you the courage to come out last year?
It was just the fact that, I was ready around the time that the speaking out movement was going on. And I was writing the post, but I didn't want to take away from, anybody's story. Like that time was a time for everybody to, bring light to, situations that happened to them. And I didn't want to overshadow it by, coming out. Like I don't think that would have been fair to them
Right.
at all. So I waited, and like I tried to find the right time to do it, and I was just like, one day it was like January 1st, and I was just like, you know what? I just want to start the year off right, and I started writing it on Twitter, and like I don't ever get nervous, but I was so nervous writing this, and like I was sweating and everything. And after I posted, I just put my phone down because I didn't know how people would accept it.
Right.
But when I when I came back and saw it was like 200 notifications, I was like, shit. And it was just like so much support, and I really didn't expect that. And it really helped. It really helped me. Made it made me feel that much better about doing it. Because even people who weren't really talking to me, came out and congratulated me and said, hey, live your truth. Don't be afraid to be you.
That's awesome. And I'm glad that it was a positive experience doing that as well.
Say that one more time.
And I'm glad that it was a positive experience because you don't know what's going to happen on social media nowadays.
No, you don't. I mean, on social media, negativity is what usually gets attention, and that wasn't anything negative. So,
Yeah,
I wasn't really doing it for attention. I was doing it, for me.
right.
But yeah, it blew up.
Now you mentioned your match against Warlow on AEW. Um, the one thing I noticed about that match is you dropped the Mister and you were only Grim in that match. Was that something that they told you beforehand? Something you found out when it happened? Why was you only Grim?
Okay, so at the time, they had there was a couple people that were called Mister. So,
I mean,
they didn't
Warlow's
want to.
Mr. Mayhem.
Yeah, that's true. But remember, Brody Lee, he was Mr. Brody Lee.
That's right.
So they kind of didn't want to take away from that. So it's like, I'm not going to tell them, hey, no, I'm not taking off the Mister. But it was, I was already planning on, dropping the Mister anyway, because it's a couple companies that I work for that, want me to use Grimm opposed to Mr. Grimm. So,
Why
I
is
mean, it
that?
kind of worked out. What'd you say?
Why is that? Did they want you to drop the Mister? Is it because there is another Mr. Grimm in the world?
I mean, I honestly, I don't know. But, I was already, thinking about like trying to find, like a alternative name because a lot of people don't know that Mr. Grimm is just a code name.
Hmm.
It's not like nobody really knows what my real gimmick name is because it's Mr. Grimm. Like a lot of times when you're addressing like, adults or I mean just people in general, like, hey, Mr. Grimm or Mr. Anderson and stuff like that. It's like, you know, it just creates an enigma. But a lot of people don't know that, hey,
That's very interesting. I love that. Um, After your match with Warlow, is somebody coming up to you after the match and giving you critique, advice, etc., etc.?
yeah, waiting for me like when I came through the curtain, like Cody Rhodes was right there, and then he pounded me up and said, good job, and that really meant a lot. I talked to QT Marshall, and he said that he liked what he saw. I did what I was brought there to do, but at the end of the day, they were trying to make Wardlow a Bill Wardlow because everybody he had matches with, it ended like within a minute.
Right.
So I was like the first person who, actually gave him a semi challenge.
Yeah, I mean
And
you got a couple good shots in there.
yeah, yep, I did.
So is
Which I mean, most people didn't.
yeah. So is a rematch with Warlow on your to-do list in this coming upcoming year?
Honestly, anybody can catch these hands. So if it's a rematch with him, a match with somebody else, look, I just want to show him what I can do.
All right. Um, no, and you don't have to answer this next one if you don't want to, but you wrestled Jimmy Rave.
Yes.
He passed away most recently. Could you tell us maybe what that experience was like, wrestling Jimmy?
Well, when it first happened, because I heard of him, but I really wasn't too familiar with him. But I would say that I was kind of like, a little upset with with Chris and Mike about it because, as their champ, like a lot of times people bring in like the top names or whatever to go against their champ. Now, on that same show, they had Darby Allin.
Hmm.
Oh, I forgot the other person's name, but what is it? The zombie princess, or
Jimmy, Jimmy, something,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, oh man, what's his name? Jimmy, not Havoc, uh,
See, yeah, I don't remember what the name. I knew it was Jimmy something, but he was on the show. Then they had Joe Gacy on the show as well, and they had put me up against Jimmy Rave, and I was like, yo,
Jimmy
what
Jacobs.
the heck? Yeah, Jacobs. So I was like,
Continue.
yo, so I was just like in my feelings a little bit because I was like, hey, you bringing in these amount of like these three people, but you put me against Jimmy Rave. Like, what's up with that? And they really didn't have an answer for it. But all in all, I was able to learn a lot from that match. And come to think about it, it's like it was a good thing that I did have that match. I learned some things that I didn't know, like some things that he learned from Japan. We did in there. Granted, it wasn't a 5-star match, but I still got to learn from that match. And I feel even if you have a not so good match, as long as you're able to learn from that match and get better from it, that makes you a better wrestler. So, just being able to like pick his brain and, learn from him and, test out some new things, like it really meant a lot.
Alright. Now, there's a documentary about you up on YouTube. How did that come about?
One day, Muscleman Malcolm, asked if I wanted to do if I would allow him to do a documentary. And I say yes because he had never done documentaries before, so he wanted to, test his hand at him. And he used me as the guinea pig. And it actually turned out really good.
Well, how did you how did you feel about having a documentary shot about you? Having the cameras follow you and that aspect of your life and a side of you that maybe people don't necessarily get to see.
Well, he was very good about, having the camera actually candid at times. Sometimes he had caught me, just being me, and I didn't even know he was recording.
Hmm.
So he did a really good job at, not really letting me know every time that he was recording. But, it felt good because like I had a chance for people to know the other side of me. They know the wrestling side, but they don't, too many people don't know about, my family or who I am outside of Mr. Grimm. And that gave them a chance to, open my book and read some of my chapters.
Alright. Now you do a move where your opponent is in like a tombstone position, but you kind of do a power slam with a bit of a twist on it.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that? Was that something somebody told you to try out? How was it just something that happened during the match? How did you develop that move?
So it started as a spinning tombstone like Power Driver.
Kind of like the Okada one.
Yeah. So a lot of people were very nervous about taking it.
Hmm.
So I was trying to find a way that, would make people feel more comfortable and make it safer. Because like, even with a tombstone, all it takes is one wrong move and that's their neck.
Right.
So at least with this one, it's like it starts off as a tombstone, you spin, and then, they just take a back bump. A lot of people feel more comfortable with, taking a back bump from that position, taking a head spike.
That's interesting because, like, the tombstone is one of the most safest ways to take a pile driver. It's the most controlled, I'd say, anyway. It's interesting that people was a little nervous to take it that way.
I mean, because you got to remember, everybody, if you don't know somebody,
Right.
like, and you don't have that trust, like, at the end of the day, it's your life.
And
Your life is at stake.
did you come up with that just figuring it out or did somebody help you develop that move with you?
I actually came up with that,
Okay.
with the power slam style,
Interesting.
because I was trying to find ways that I could do the same setup, but just make it more unique. Like even with the spinning tombstone that I was doing at first, it wasn't too many people doing it.
Right.
So it wasn't something that you would see. And I practiced that for a good 5 months before I even debuted it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have your own custom ring music?
Yes, I have like, I believe 4 or 5 different songs.
Oh, wow. So, how did you get to the development of your own custom ring music?
Well, initially I hit up a guy named Monteezy,
Okay.
and he was doing wrestlers music around like the Maryland area. So, I reached out to him, and, he ended up doing mine, and I just kept going back to him. Then one of my recent ones, because I have another one from him, and then I have a rock song by a guy named Breezy, and he's an African American, musician who does metal, which is very unique in its own.
Yeah. And how important is custom ring music? Because not a lot of other pro wrestlers have custom uh, ring music. Usually it's, anything AC/DC or Metallica on the independents anyway.
I mean, it means a lot, because when you go to places and, like, hypothetically, let's say that, they have TV, or they're posting it like on, TV, they don't want copywritten music.
Right.
Like, just having your own music, it shows that, you care about your gimmick, you care about your persona, and, it just differentiates from what a lot of people are doing. Like, I always want to be different. Like, I want to go the extra mile. And I feel, having custom music is one way of doing it. And not just having a custom song, I get like songs made like, every so often. Like, I don't want to, be stuck with the same song. I want to have variety.
You're
Just like I say,
constantly evolving it.
yeah, a little bit, but, even now, because my first 3 or 4 were rap. Now I have one that's metal.
Well, I mean, since we're talking about rap and metal, what are you listening to? What's your music taste?
I like rap. Well, matter of fact, let me just say this. I like what I like. It's not necessarily just a genre, because I don't typically listen to country music, but if I hear a country song that I like, I'm gonna listen to it.
And I'm kind of the same way. I mean, there's some genre of music I will not listen to, but like if there's like a good beat and I relate to the lyrics, then why the hell not? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, I don't feel you should put yourself in a bubble because, when you willing to step outside of the box, you'll find out that, it's things out here that you like that you never knew existed.
And I think that's a great segue into our next segment, Kaliko's Colossal Question, not actually featuring Kaliko. Um, they're making a movie about you. It's about your wrestling career. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first three songs on the Mr. Grimm wrestling soundtrack so far, or up to this point?
I would say Many Men by 50 Cent. Scared from Jaron Benton, and No Days Off from Sleepy Hollow.
Damn, you had that ready to go. Now, that's your three songs. Do you lock them in?
Yes, I do.
Alright, you're locked in. Um, Now you are the Hitman for Hire. There is another famous wrestler that used the moniker Hitman. Did you ever take that into consideration? And have you ever had any pushback on the Hitman nickname?
I didn't have any pushback from that. Like, because I'm the Hitman for hire, not just the Hitman.
Right.
Just tweaking something a little bit keeps it from being, plagiarism or
Yeah, I got you.
copyright infringement. I mean, I will say that I've been, when I was doing the body bag, like I had a lot of people saying, "Oh, that's gimmick infringement because the Undertaker did it." I'm like, the Undertaker only did it like once or twice. Like, really? Are we still holding on to this?
And I mean, like, that was like at the beginning of his career. It wasn't like he wasn't doing it like 2, 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the people always want something to complain about.
Yes, they are. Um, Now, keeping on the Hitman topic, you are the Hitman for Hire. Who was the most satisfying person to take out?
Um, I would have to say the most satisfying person to take out. That's because I've had like so many matches. I would have to say AR Fox.
Really?
Yeah, because we had a casket match that got turned into a body bag match.
I mean, they
And
could
that
have used
match,
both gimmicks, put the person in the body bag, and then put him in the casket.
well, I ended up double stomping through the casket and he moved and I broke it.
Ooh. Alright. And who wasn't worth the money? Which is the highest compliment a hitman could give somebody?
Wait, say that one more time?
That was the most satisfying person to take out. Who
Yeah.
wasn't worth the money? Meaning, it's the highest compliment a hitman could give somebody.
Saying that they weren't worth the money?
Yes.
See, that can be taken two different ways. Like when you say wasn't worth the money, mean, oh, well, they're just bad. I don't, even need the money. Or,
What
you know,
the way I'm presenting it is that they were such a hard target to take out. They were so strong. They gave you a lot of trouble. That you did get the job done, but what you have to go through to take them out wasn't worth the money, which is a Hitman.
Everybody's worth the money. Like, everybody is worth the money. There's nobody that is not worth, you know, money, because money is accepted everywhere, and I love money. So,
All right. You write poetry, correct?
I do.
Can you tell us about some of the things you write?
Well, a lot of writing comes from, just like built up anger that I had. And it started off like when I was younger, because I was just an angry person in general. And a lot of it was because I didn't, want to talk to anybody, and I kept everything built up. And eventually it just started, come, like, how they say, like, once it's bottled up, it has to come out sometime.
Yeah.
And, when it finally came out, I realized, I didn't like that person at all. At all. So, like, I had to find a way, to not let my past run me, and to, gain back control of my life. So I started writing. And that was my way of, expressing myself to people and not actually having to do it.
Okay. So your poetry is for yourself. You don't. It's not to give to other people.
I mean, sometimes, but like, that's how it originated.
Okay. But I mean, are we going to see you like at poetry slams?
Probably not. Because I mean, with my, when I write music, when I write poetry, I don't necessarily do it for attention. I do it because it's like something I'm trying to say, or something I'm trying to get out.
Yeah,
That,
absolutely.
yeah.
No, I respect that. And is it just how you're feeling in that moment, or is there like wrestling themes to some of them?
No, a lot of them are personal. It I try to leave wrestling and, out of my poetry, because I'm not angry with wrestling. Wrestling is another means that helps me, it's like therapy.
Okay.
When I do my writing, that's another form of therapy, so to speak, where it's, me expressing myself. You know, with wrestling being an art, it's another way for me to express myself. So you can technically say, when I'm out there, I'm doing poetry just with my body and not my words.
That is a fantastic answer. I love that. Um, Now you're a Marvel fan as well. Um, I heard you're a Venom fan as well. Um, did you see the original Venom movie?
I did, and I liked it. I didn't see the newest one. I was supposed to, but my guy just moved into my new place, and moving is not cheap.
From experience, yes, it is not. You said you didn't like the original Venom movie.
I did.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Well, I heard that the new one was supposed to be really good with Carnage as well, and that it might, and spoilers, but I'm not going to try and spoil it. It's just a rumor. That Venom was supposed to be in the new Spider-Man movie as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But what's your what's your favorite Marvel movie, and what's your favorite version of Venom?
You said my favorite version of Venom?
Yes.
To be honest, I like the original one. Like, that was pretty much what got everything started. And it was, you know, I like, just seeing Venom like on TV shows or whatever, and then seeing them in the movie, it's two different types of Venom, and I
Right.
think I like the one on the movie better because it's like he's actually comical, but it's comical in a demonic way. It's like, oh, hey, let's chew off this guy's finger. It's gonna be cool. Like, but in the in the comics or whatever, he's not really like that. Or
No,
like the
it's not.
TV shows, like especially like on the Spider-Man cartoons, he wasn't anything like that.
No, he wasn't.
But I would have to say one of my favorite Marvel movies was, I definitely like Black Panther, but I really liked Infinity War. That
Yeah.
movie was like really good, and then how it ended. Me, I'm a type of person I like seeing the villains win, and at the end when it was just like wow,
Thanos won.
yeah,
So
and I
you
was
were
just like,
actually cheering for Thanos in that scenario.
yeah, I mean I was because I didn't think that was gonna happen.
I don't think
Like
anybody did.
yeah, especially, when they finally got the stone and like, he rewinded the dude or he not the stone, but they like
The Vision.
destroyed it. And
Yeah.
then he literally brought back time just to kill him. And I was like, yo. I was like, that was the hardest shit ever.
Could we possibly see Thanos inspired gear in the future?
I'm not really sure. Like because I'm actually in the middle of it's about that time and every so often I do adjustments to my gimmick, to my gear. So right now I'm working on new gear. I'm working on, enhancing my gimmick, taking out things, putting a little bit of this in, taking a little bit out, just to keep things fresh.
All right. Now on to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I've made a pineapple I made a pineapple pizza and it had strawberries on it as well.
Ooh, how? Okay, you have to say more about this. Elaborate.
Okay, so I went to this place called Mod Pizza
Where
and
is this?
well, it was in Maryland. I mean, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure they have more, but I went to Mod Pizza and they start putting on toppings and I was like, yo, is that a fucking strawberry? Like, so because I've never like last time I went, they didn't have strawberries. So I get the strawberry. It was like, you want strawberries on your pizza? I was like, yes. And then add pineapples and broccoli. So they put everything on there and it was actually really good. Like I'm not even gonna lie, it was really good. And people, they already had issues with pineapple on pizza. But then, when I had matter of fact, I'm about to send it to you right now on Twitter so you can see what it looked like.
All right. And I might
But
actually put that in the comments of the video when we post this on Twitter.
I mean, you definitely should.
Oh, I definitely will. That's really interesting. Strawberries on pizza. I thought pineapple on pizza was odd. All right, interesting.
Tell
Who's
you,
your
don't knock it till you try it.
all right? Who's your spirit Pokemon?
Okay, so I have a couple different ones here. So it's like I would have to say my spirit Pokemon would be like Snorlax,
Classic.
but my favorite is Lickitung.
Interesting.
Because I mean, I look at it like this: any person who can lick somebody and make them like just paralyzed like that, your tongue game is like that. Look, most people need to strive to be like Lickitung.
Alright. Now, weirdest question you'll ever be asked on a wrestling podcast. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual Rock.
I mean, they put a contract on that Rock. He's good as gone.
Alright. Well, there's this for context, there's this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual Rock for over 15 minutes in what was dubbed a Tungsten Man match, an Iron Man match that lasted for 2 weeks. So,
Wow.
Mike, if you want to put a contract out on The Rock, you got your guy right here.
Rock.
On the show, we love Tracy Smothers. Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
No, I don't, to be honest.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, 'cause a Doug can't spell.
Wow.
No, we love Tracy Smothers and just trying to keep the memory alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, it is once again time for that segment, Mr. Grimm's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a story that fits that description?
Yeah, so one time me, Nyla Rose, Ronnie Nicole, and Sammy Pandora, we were all booked for this show in Jacksonville. And after the show, like the booker, I don't think he had the money to pay everybody yet. So, everybody was getting upset. They were like pissed. So he ended up locking himself in the room and like the office. And like I feel that we literally saved his life that night because like wrestlers were outside the door. They were like ready to they were like trying to break in the door and like whip his ass. So yeah, that was a very memorable night. I was just like, yo, what is going on?
But did you get paid a little bit extra for being bodyguard duty?
No, I mean because we were already paid. Like,
Ah. Well, I mean, if you already paid, let him feed him to the wolves. You know what I mean?
I mean, my thing is, I'm not that kind of person. Like, especially when things happen.
No, I'm joking. It's just a joke. I'm definitely looking at this picture you sent me. Is there barbecue sauce on this pizza as well?
Yes, it's barbecue drizzle.
How does barbecue sauce taste on strawberry? Because I would imagine it would taste delicious.
It's really good. Really good.
Now, on a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I mean, honestly, if nothing comes about, I might just retire, to be honest.
Hmm.
I'm not trying to be, in my 40s still like wrestling, to be honest, unless I'm like on TV or something.
I understand. But, I mean, if you are, what is the goal? What do you want to be in 5 years? What do you see yourself if you could?
I mean, I see myself, helping my kids, strive to be the best in whatever they, want to be the best in. Because, after wrestling, like that's gonna be like, even though that is my focus, But primarily, since I don't really have, I wouldn't have wrestling, like that's gonna be, what I do. I'm gonna make sure, I'm right there pushing them harder than what I am now, to be great.
And that's a great answer. What is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Mr. Grimm is all about?
It's a oldie but goodie, and I think it's a match that people would appreciate. It's if you go on Facebook, go to Legacy Wrestling. They have a 5-way match with me versus Trey Miguel versus Zach Wentz versus Myron Reed and versus a guy named Winchester.
And that's on Facebook.
Yeah,
Right. Well,
I mean that's the old one, but if you want to see something like more recent, I would have to say, whenever it's posted, the match that I had at CZW last month, it was the 4-way, and I showed a little bit of my strength. I showed a little bit of my speed. I showed a little bit of everything.
Well, I'll try and get that match off of Facebook and get it into the description of the video below on both YouTube and Castbox, so people could check it out after they listen to this interview. And if the other match is available on YouTube or anywhere that's free, we will put that in the description of the video as well.
I appreciate it.
Now, since we're nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready, Mr. Grimm?
Yep.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Of all time, I would have to say The Rock.
Worst wrestler of all time.
Yeah, I don't want to answer that one. Look, as a wrestler, I don't really feel comfortable with, saying people that's made it, saying that they weren't good.
Alright, well, we're still giving you the default answer for this question, and you have chosen Eva Marie.
Okay.
Your main event in WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Keith Lee.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
That Christian song.
Just close your eyes.
Yes, that song is lit.
Which version? Because there's 2.
I've only heard one version.
The 2009 version or the 2005 version?
Maybe the 2005. I don't know.
Female vocals or male vocals? That's the question.
Say that one more time.
Is it female vocals or male vocals?
It's male.
Okay, so it's the 2009 one.
Okay, yeah, that one.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is
Dead.
Squash, fruit or vegetable?
I would have to say it's a fruit.
And you would be correct. New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Say that one more time. I heard trunks to cheek ratio.
What is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio?
I would say cover your ass.
No butt cheek showing.
Unless you're a female, that's or unless you're Effie. Effie can show all the ass he wants and get away with it.
And the main event, the last question, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No.
And that is the correct answer. And I will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
I appreciate you having me. It's been fun. We've been trying to get this situated for a while now, and then it finally happened, and everything just worked out.
And it was definitely worth the wait as well. Again, thank you so much for coming on. And where can we find you on social media and your merchandise and all that good stuff?
Well, right now, for merchandise, like if you go to Lucha Wear, that's LuchaWear.art. You can find a lot of good merchandise of mine on there. They have pan inspired stuff on there. They have like a Mr. Grimm pop figure. They like outfits and like flags and stuff like that. It's really good. Like if you look on I've actually taken some pictures of the merchandise. I even got 2 flags from them. Like, yeah, it's a lot of stuff on there. But for the internet, social media, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Just Google Mr. Grimm Wrestler or the Hitman For Hire Mr. Grimm, and you should find it.
And of course, you don't even have to drill it into your Google machine. All you have to do is go into the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox, and click the link. You have no excuse. You've been listening to him for over an hour. Buy a damn short.
Facts. Or get bodied.
And if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next week as we interview Angela Lane. The week after that, Gemma Jewel. You can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestling with E for all your wrestling entertainment needs. You can find me at JamesJ993. You can find Kaliko at I Am Kaliko. And you can find Scooter Dust at Scooter Dust. Of course, on the remix, the only live alternative commentary on the internet today, on the UNSB network, and on the Smoking Dragons Twitch stream as well. Now, when I say wrestling with, you say entertainment. Alright?
Okay.
For our very special guest, Mr. Grimm, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.